Before we begin the following program, we would like to say that, in our opinion, it is not suitable for children or those of you who are of a Marxist or misandrist disposition.
Only one of these people has any balls. Can you tell which one it is?
Oh, no.
Oh, for God's sake!
I don't like it.
I know you don't.
No.
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 But you can't rewrite history. Not one line.
People spend all their time making nice things, and other people come along and break them.
It's the end.
You're the cause of this disaster.
Poor old Prince Harry, eh? What a hard life he's had. Must be terrible having to deal with all that white male privilege as a member of the royal family, as well as the compulsory racism that comes with marrying a scheming hypergamist. Because we live in a world where nobody wants to take responsibility for the consequences of their actions anymore. A world where all victims are to be believed, even if there's no actual evidence. And all votes are to be counted, even the illegal ones. A world where nobody sees the hypocrisy in saying you want a private life, but then giving a publicity-seeking interview to Oprah Bloody Winfrey. A world where people think a vagina doctor is actually a good idea that was never destined to fall flat on its arse. A world where John Bishop thinks that joining the cast of Doctor Who is a good career move. A world where a shouty lefty minority take every opportunity to smear, demonise and guilt trip, but that's what happens when the lefties control the media. The guilt trip is a standard female manipulation tactic, and it works. No reasonable bloke wants to make a woman cry, and no reasonable bloke wants to be seen as the bad guy, which is what they use against you. The Disney princess? That's a lie. It's the men who are the romantics, not the women. Men are romantic. Women are mercenary. A man can carry a torch for a woman for years, decades. But when a woman's solipsism kicks in, you're dead to her, mate. Of course, if you don't bend the knee to the wank fest of wokery, the new narcissism and the current self-indulgent victim culture, then you do a Morgan and tell them all to go fuck themselves. Like the lefty wankers who accuse me of horrific sexism without producing any actual evidence of it. And all just because I cut Moffat's misogyny out of a few fan edits and call out Chibnob's misandry for what it is. Shocking. It's not sexist to say you find attractive women, like Nicola Bryant, attractive. And while we're on the subject, Nev Fountain is one lucky bastard. The only women who say a woman shouldn't be judged on her looks are the ones nobody wants to shag. Which is a terribly alpha male thing to say, don't you think? And women never judge men on their looks, do they? Of course they don't. According to the feminist Florence Given, who's a real catch, women don't owe you pretty. Someone really ought to write a male response called Men Don't Owe You Baby, because all women want the same two things: a big wedding day and a baby. Take my advice, mate. Don't give them either of those things. Not all men are predatory monsters, just as all women aren't feminist misandrists like Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall and Florence Given. The trouble is, there are too many sheep in fandom, and they all seem to have a YouTube channel.
They are sheep.
Unlike the 20-something SJW NPC drones cluttering up YouTube who don't understand how socialism actually works, there are those of us who do. I'm a grumpy old fan in my mid-50s, so you're really wasting your time trying to guilt-trip me into submission. I'm one of the ones who's held down an actual job, paid the bills, taken responsibility for my actions, had sex with real women and gained some life experience along the way, which means people like me know what's going on. We know what the lefties are up to, and we can see how the identity politics noose is slowly tightening around our collective necks.
Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
Dissent from the groupthink, let the control freak, free speech suppressing lefties know that you're onto them, and the lefties in fandom will do what lefties do everywhere else. They'll do what they always do. Try and intimidate you into silence and submission.
I don't know what my acquaintance did to upset you, but it's nothing to do with me.
And if that doesn't work, they'll do some character assassination on you. I've been accused of running away simply because I made the WhoFlix site private. I only did that to keep the trolls away because they're tiresome and boring and I really can't be arsed wasting time with them. A tactical withdrawal is one thing, but never retreat in the face of a playground bully, a narcissist having a tiny tears tantrum on Twitter because it didn't get its own way. And when they don't get their own way, what do? They label you. You're not a person. You're a gay person, or a black person, or better still, a transgender person. The worst thing you can be for a lefty is not a lefty, with your male gaze and your white privilege and your transphobia. It's othering, is what the left are doing, and the sheep keep falling for it. Othering is what you do when those who aren't part of your tribe are the other. In the same way that the Doctor is the other, the mysterious, unknowable, not one of us. The majority of lefty Marxists who make television for the normal, straight, reasonable majority love to label people, especially unmutuals like me who refuse to submit to the groupthink. Which is why fandom is split, Doctor Who fandom and Star Wars fandom alike. Inclusivity is a smokescreen for legitimising prejudice and discrimination. For example, when Jodie Whittaker was cast as the Vagina Doctor, Chibnall only wanted a female actor. Not the best actor, a female actor. Male actors need not apply for a male role. That is discrimination. Similarly, when and if there is a 14th Doctor, I've no doubt they will be a Doctor of colour. Just like when Whittaker was cast, and actors possessing a penis weren't wanted, when it comes to Whittaker's successor, if there is one, I fully expect that white actors need not apply. That is discrimination. Now, most reasonable, normal, moderate people accept the discrimination is either wrong or it isn't. But if you're a lefty, discrimination is perfectly fine so long as it's positive discrimination. But discriminating on purpose in favour of one group in order to advantage them is still discrimination against another group in order to disadvantage them. Case in point, Big Finish, who recently appointed 3 new producers to their range solely because they've got vaginas. So now Big Finish, like the BBC, are discriminating on the grounds of ability, as well as sex. Why are they doing that? Because they're terrified of the shouty minority on Twitter, the lynch mob. And if young women keep listening to misandrists like Florence Given, you know what's going to happen, don't you? The word spinster's going to make a comeback.
If you're a lefty and have been affected by any of the issues raised in this program,
Fuck off!